Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 9 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, we've got a story coming out of Greenville where a woman is now being charged with assault on an officer after she allegedly bit two officers. Warrants say on August 4th, two Greenville police officers were trying to arrest a person suspected of assaulting two people when 35-year-old Marina Butler bit them. According to the documents, Butler bit them in the right hand of one of the officers that broke the skin. The other officer was bitten in the leg, according to the warrants. Now, Butler was arrested yesterday and charged with assault on a law enforcement officer or police officer, serious injury, and assault on a government official or employee. She's currently in the Pitt County Jail under a $35,000 bond. And now we also want to highlight the contentious hearing that involved Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in Congress yesterday. We now want to again turn to you and turn to Ryan Nobles, who has more on the hearing.
After yesterday's contentious hearing,
You're just making stuff up, Senator.
Overnight, President Trump expressing confidence in Robert F. Kennedy Jr., though saying he didn't watch.
And he means very well, and he's got some little different ideas. I heard he did very well.
The Health and Human Services Secretary in the spotlight.
Would you accept the fact that 1 million Americans died from COVID?
I don't know how many. I don't think anybody knows that because there was so much data chaos coming out of the CDC.
The Secretary of Health and Human Services doesn't know how many Americans died from COVID. Doesn't know if the vaccine helped prevent any deaths. How can you be that ignorant?
Multiple Republican senators questioning Kennedy's stance on vaccines.
In your confirmation hearings, you promised to uphold the highest standards for vaccines. Since then, I've grown deeply concerned. If we're going to make America healthy again, we can't allow public health to be undermined.
We're going to make it clear, evidence-based, and trustworthy.
Republican Bill Cassidy, a doctor who was pivotal in Kennedy's confirmation, also expressing concerns.
I would say effectively we're denying people vaccine.
Senators questioning a long list of controversial decisions, including firing the CDC director Susan Menares after only a month on the job. Menares saying she was pressured to pre-approve recommendations from a powerful panel that she says includes anti-vaccine advocates. Kennedy denying that.
So she's lying today to the American people in the Wall Street Journal.
Yes, sir. I told her that she had to resign because I asked her, are you a trustworthy person? And she said no. So if you...
The secretary contending his overhaul of the federal agencies is necessary.
They deserve the truth, and that's what we're going to give them for the first time in the history of that agency.
And some senators are worried his worldview is creeping into policy at the state level, with Florida becoming the first state to end all vaccine mandates, a shift Republican Tom Tillis believes could cost lives. Hasn't Secretary Kennedy contributed to that?
Oh, I think we have a big risk.
And again, that was Ryan Nobles reporting. We now want to turn our attention to your weather forecast. Right now, it's looking pretty beautiful outside. Want to take a look through our Washington cam right now. We've got 75 degrees, southwesterly wind at 6 miles an hour. That's something, again, we've been tracking here over the past several days, is the shift in the winds. We knew it was going to happen. Yesterday, we saw a stronger breeze out of the southwest. Of course, that led to a slow rise in humidity. That rise will continue today. Right now, dew points are sitting in the mid-60s. Right now over the Pamlico River in Washington. As far as what we've got beyond, of course, just your dew points, though, it is again going to be a hot temperature day as highs are expected to reach into the possibly the low 90s, but certainly I think most inland areas will be reaching the upper 80s coming up this afternoon. Now, it will feel warmer because of that rise in humidity. I'm anticipating, again, a feels-like temperature that will be generally between around 93 to around 96 degrees today. Again, air temperatures, if they do rise into low 90s, may push that up a little bit further. But right now, again, things still fairly comfortable outside. You may not be able to notice that rise in humidity. Some of you might, but for right now, again, things are just looking sunny and, well, a little bit more humid than where we were yesterday. Here's a look at your temperatures across the board. Most of us in the mid to low 70s. We do have Stumpy Point coming in at 81 degrees. Normally, I'd take that and I'd say, all right, well, look at the surrounding areas. Nothing really all that close to 81. However, Hatteras is sitting at 79, so there is certainly some heat as you get closer to the water. But in terms of humidity, most areas, again, have seen an increase over the past 24 hours. That has pushed our dew points into the mid to upper 60s. Some areas back into the low 70s for those dew points. And again, once you get into the 70s, you can feel that change in the air. A lot of it, again, comes from the southwesterly winds. Right now, we're blowing in at about 4 to 8 miles an hour. Later on today, those winds may turn a little bit, but still maintain that southerly direction. We'll also see a little bit of an increase in wind speed, but that, again, not really going to have a big impact on your forecast. And we get into Saturday. Saturday, we will maintain that southwesterly wind throughout most of the day, but late Saturday night, you may see those winds start to shift. That is really going to be happening coming up on Sunday. And as that happens, we see a nice turn in our humidity fortunes. We will be watching that humidity come back down again once we get into, I'd say, really Sunday, but more so Monday. Monday is the day you're really going to be able to feel it. Sunday is kind of that transition day where the atmosphere is going to be trying to squeeze out that humidity. It's just going to be a little bit easier for it to accomplish during the overnight hours than, say, during the daylight hours. But there's, again, a look at that whole system rolling through. Not anticipating a ton of rain with it, but again, as it kind of skirts the coast there on Sunday, we could certainly see perhaps maybe a few spot showers and storms kind of come up from the south. Again, that will only increase that humidity level, but right now, Sunday night, overnight lows in the low 60s, very encouraging for a cooler start to the upcoming work week. Looking at around 92 degrees for tomorrow, 82 on Sunday, 78 on Monday. So yeah, it's a fairly substantial front, dropping air temperatures by over 10 degrees over a 48-hour period. But again, rain showers are going to be a little bit more difficult to come by with this stronger front until we get into Sunday. So if you're going to the Pirate game on Saturday, at this point, I would say you're probably good leaving the jackets at home. If you want to be safe versus sorry, totally understand that. A light rain jacket is always a smart move to have in just in the back of the car. But right now, again, things are looking pretty good as far as the Pirate game goes weather-wise. Hopefully the Pirates can pull out a victory. Here's what we've got coming up, though, for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 20, 40, and 20% chance of rain. We will see, again, those overnight lows hold in the mid to low 60s next week, and that will maintain a lower humidity level than what we're going to see today and tomorrow. Well, that's all we have time for today's 9 a.m. News and Weather Update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful Friday.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by ENC Pirate Realty.